So it's pretty safe to say that all of us like money. Maybe it's not the most important thing to us, but most of us recognize that without an adequate amount of money, we can't focus on the things that we truly care about. But I am curious, how many of you have ever asked yourself, what exactly is money? And that's a question that I've started asking myself as I've gone down this journey, because the funny part about this is that humanity seems to not really agree on this, right? Like you go across the world and those pieces of paper that you use are different in every geographical location that you go. And the funny part about it is, if someone told you today, hey, I'm gonna give you a job in the United States, but I'm gonna pay you in pesos, you probably would turn that job down because you don't recognize other people's form of money as money. And I find that bizarre. And so when I ask myself, what exactly is money? The best example I've ever heard is it's the abstracted form of your time and energy. So simply put, it's the tangible version of the effort you put into your labor, right? There's no way for me to go to the grocery store and just tell them, hey, I shot this podcast, I'd like to buy some chips. I need some metric or form to be able to spend that money. And so the way that we do that in the United States is we have US dollars. The issue with this is that when you get compensated in US dollars, when you go to store your time and energy, that time and energy gets diluted. So I'm gonna give you an example. My first job was in the late 90s and I worked at the skating rink. And at the time they paid me about $5 an hour. And I was a floor guard. So pretty simple, I skated around the rink and I helped kids when they fell down. If I were to work at the skating rink as a floor guard and I was paid minimum wage, I would get paid about 16 bucks an hour. So if we round that down to 15, today kids are making 3 times the amount that I was making as a kid. Now, are they actually getting paid more? No, they're not, because in the 90s, $5 went much further than it did in 2024. So if my thought process as a kid was that I was gonna store my time and energy by putting money in the bank, by putting dollars in the bank, so if I worked an hour and I wanted to store an hour by putting $5 into there, what would that mean in 2024? Would I have kept an hour of my time? I don't think so. I maybe would have kept 30% of my time. So the question I want to ask you guys is, how should you store your money? What are some tools that you can do to store your money? And you guys obviously know one of my favorite answers, which is real estate. But if you're not in a position yet to make such a big jump, what are you going to do so that you can be in a position to make one of these bigger jumps like real estate? Should you look at something like Bitcoin? Guys, don't kill me when I say that. I know a lot of people's thought on that, but it is a great form to store your money. Should you look at treasury bonds? Like, what are your options to get yourself into a position to own a home? Now, with all this money talk, the one thing I want to remind all of you guys is that, again, just like I talked about at the beginning of the video, the entire reason we want an adequate amount of money is that we can focus our time and energy on the things that we really care about. And in my opinion, there's nothing more valuable than building a home. The things that it does for your self-confidence, and it just gives you the stability that you're looking for. And so even though real estate is a financial vehicle and an amazing financial tool, it does so much more for the quality of our life. And so I'm gonna leave you guys with this. What are some tools that you can use to store your hard-earned time and energy? I hope that helps today, guys.